My sunglasses are off, and that's mainly because we're having some Ultra League action for today's content. Rolling the Heat is a trainer that has submitted today's battles with this pretty spicy Shadow Shiny Raikou as their closer. So overall today's content is also gonna be kinda bigger than usual. That's mainly because of the crazy amount of battles that we're gonna have, and also this is gonna be a test for you trainers, for my viewers. So let's see if you enjoy bigger videos overall here on my channel. So Ultra League action, and we're just gonna come into the battle now with our amazing Tapu Fini. Tapu Fini with Nature's Madness is gonna be an amazing option for Ultra League, and I guess here that one serve can absolutely seal the deal over that Skeledirge, especially that they have 0 shields remaining. So Ampharos now is gonna get to the Thunder Punch to finish us down, but this is the ideal scenario for our cheese Pokemon to come into the battle and absolutely get ahead on energy. Feraligatr comes in, let's nuke it down with a simple Shadow Wild Charge out of the way, and Ultra League is in shambles because we're just gonna destroy them down with a double Wild Charge. Into the next battle now, trainers, with a Steelix up in front. Rolling the Heat is gonna stay into this individual matchup, and I guess that Seed Bomb is our main way to go, while we still need the Shadow Ball if we want to surprise them. So Crunch is definitely gonna surprise us, and now with another Seed Bomb we're gonna drop them severely low. Perhaps we could reach to a Shadow Ball here, but anyways we still got the shield, which is absolutely awesome since now we can finish them off with our Tapu Fini. Not only that, but also they bail out of there with their switch out to Giratina, and Nature's Madness will debuff this Pokemon defensively. So I guess we're just gonna take the move at this point. No, we end up blocking a very bad move, and that is Dragon Claw. So our opponent definitely caught us over here. Nature's Madness this time will go through and absolutely deal a heck amount of damage. Now with Raikou coming into the game, I guess that we can easily survive one Dragon Claw, complete the farm down with the Thunder Shocks, and now that Steelix returns into the game by blocking just once, we might actually finish them off with the Shadow Ball. It all depends now on what they have as their third Pokemon, so let's see together, trainers, and they end up having a Poliwrath, which is great and fantastic news for us. We're just gonna one-shot it down, but unfortunately we're gonna fall short to Giratina. Into the next battle now with the Registeel up in front. So this one is always a pretty good for us because obviously this Pokemon has some crazy nukes, but at the same time anything is gonna be resisted by our Trevenant. Feraligatr comes into the battle, and of course Seed Bomb here is definitely gonna take the shield out of play. Now with our Tapu Fini answering back at them, we can absolutely have the upper hand with a simple Nature's Madness while we resist pretty much whatever they throw, even the Crunch, even the Hydro, even the Ice Beam. So we're gonna be looking at a pretty positive one for us. Nature's Madness here is gonna take the shield, the final one, out of play, and we're just gonna keep going at it with our moves. Eventually they finish us off, but Rolling the Heat definitely knows what they have to do because Trevenant now is definitely gonna come into the battle. Our opponent switches out to Registeel, and the Metal Trascal now has access to Focus Blast. So Shadow Ball now will go through and absolutely finish off Registeel, but perhaps we need to get to that Seed Bomb for the Feraligatr, but instead they throw that Poliwrath into the game. You know what, the outcome hasn't been settled yet, but they have Ice Punch on that Poliwrath, and they end up catching Wild Charge on Feraligatr. Still, this is pretty good for us because even with 1 HP, when we have back-to-back moves, we can absolutely wreak havoc with our Shadow Shiny Raikou as the end game Pokemon. Yeah, the endgame Pokemon. This is what I want to say. Anyways, into the next battle now with a very bad lead, perhaps the worst one that you can get because everything is resisted while everything they throw is gonna be super effective. So by switching out here to our Tapu Fini, we aim on that very good switch, and they end up going for Poliwrath. If I were Rolling the Heat here, I would go for the shield because I would like to have the upper hand with with this matchup, since I want to turn around that very bad lead that we're having, but at the same time I guess that we need the shield advantage for our Raikou, and it ends up in a very good position for rolling the hit. That's why this battle is pretty good. So we're just gonna take the next move, I guess. No reason to panic, this is Ultra League after all, everything is much bulkier than usual, and a Feraligatr will join the party, and as soon as it joins the party it is just gonna say goodbye, I'm out of here, just go to sleep, with a wild charge, one for that Feraligatr and one more for that poor Mandibuzz. All we need to do here is to reach to another wild charge, and as soon as we get there, our opponent is just gonna top left this battle, which is absolutely crazy. A Dragon Breath version of Giratina now as our next opponent, and I believe this is a bad one for us. Anyways, gonna stay in a little bit longer, since now we can still get to the Shadow Ball and start threatening some shields out of existence. This is gonna be just another Dragon Claw, I guess, which we can survive, and the next Shadow Ball we will definitely finish them off if they are not careful. So the final shield is already out of play, and you already know why we need that shield advantage. Not only we can protect our Raikou on the end game, but also when our opponent has zero shields, well, our moves are just gonna connect for massive damage over our opponent's backline. So Surf here will drop that Giratina at a pretty low point. We need to switch out, I guess, but still we can farm down with the water guns. Now Trevenant joins the party, and this is a Pokemon that we can absolutely wreak havoc on with our Nature's Madness. So now that their defense has failed, perhaps one wild charge can absolutely finish them down, and we need to throw, I guess, after they throw their own, because we can block it and still get to the overfarm for the next Pokemon. They end up having a water type once again at the back. Oh my goodness, we did not even see that one coming into the battle. It just emerged and disappeared out of thin air. So yeah, that was pretty awesome with the Shadow Wild Charges. Into the next battle now with a Virizion up in front, and this is another Pokemon that we really want to see up on that lead option. So on the switch we're meeting up with a Skeledirge, and this is one that we definitely want to see as well. So we're having finally a very good algorithm matchup here, so we're just gonna keep going at it with our moves. Typing wise, this is looking like a pretty solid one for us, and after we block, I guess, a Disarming Voice, we can easily farm down in the process. Not only we have beaten down that Skeledirge, but also we managed to have the upper hand with the alignment, so that their final Pokemon will have to face the wrath of a Raikou. So Seed Bomb now will be blocked by our opponent, and this is gonna be looking like a solid battle for us, because we're gonna keep the shield as always for the end game. But before we go down, we still have one more grass type charge attack for them. Down they go to our Thundershock, and as soon as they see Raikou coming in with a shield, they top left this battle. Ampharos now up in front, and this is a Pokemon that I'm not liking at all when I'm using Trevenant, to be fair, because this one carries the move Brutal Swing, and this is kinda weird because it is an electric type that can finish off those grass types, and yeah, that is always gonna work towards Ampharos' advantage. So we managed to get a shield in the process, which is pretty great, and now we switch out to Tapu Fini. I really like this play by rolling the hit, because not only we secure the shield advantage, but also we can start pushing now by completely walling them down with Tapu Fini. So another move is coming off. This time we need to block though, because Skeledirge might be actually a pretty rough one for us. Perhaps we could go ahead and completely farm down here, but I'm not sure, I was not counting that well. So we're gonna let the move go through. It ends up being a Brutal Swing already at 50%, and they end up having once again a water type at the back. I believe everyone is having a water type at the end, so this this is pretty solid for us with Raikou emerging as a solid closer. We are almost mid battle here on the video, and at this point, trainers, I want to remind you that you can always leave a huge like before you go, and of course subscribe to my content if you enjoy this type of videos, because it really helps my channel grow a little bit more every single day. Now let's return to the commentary, as we're having Obstagoon coming into the game, and of course this Pokemon, whatever it throws other than the Hyper Beam, is gonna be able to be taken by with ease to our Tapu Fini. So even though they get the boost, we still have the upper hand with our Pokemon, and we need to get to the serves to eventually finish them down. With Obstagoon out of the way, perhaps now Trevenant can be on a very good spot, especially that now that we know that Jellicent is coming in. So with Jellicent getting the debuff, we might actually be able to completely farm down here. Our opponent gets to the Shadow Ball for the knockout against Tapu Fini, but still they have a Pokemon like Annihilate, which is just gonna get destroyed down by a single Shadow Ball. As you can see now, we're still gonna get to the Shadow Ball energy, but we're gonna throw Wild Charge instead because of how good we can be at switching out and clearing the debuff, and at the same time we can farm some extra with Raikou in the process. Now with Jellicent coming into the game, we have already done our final Thunder Shock, so that is gonna be the end game for this one as well. Cresselia up in front, this is obviously a very good looking lead for us, and we're seeing a Giratina on the switch. Shadow Sneak is gonna be blocked, this time no Shadow Force, which means that we can easily now switch out to our Tapu Fini after we baked first. Now that we're both even on shields, I guess our play here is to finish them off as soon as we get there to the Nature's Madness and keep the final shield once again for Raikou. So after the debuff on the end, perhaps now we can farm down much easier before them reaching to a charge attack. Cresselia returns, and one more Nature's Madness is gonna be revealed on their face, so down goes more of their defense. So at this point we're just gonna fall short to the Grass Knot, I guess, but still it is what it is. We're just gonna return into the battle with Trevenant while we're hoping for a Water type once again for the end game. So we're just gonna drop that Shadow Ball as soon as we get there. Cresselia has to block, and with a Feraligatr at the back, I doubt that there is something that can stop us in reality, because we're just gonna reach to a double Wild Charge, one for the Feraligatr, one for the Cresselia, and that is gonna be the end to an amazing battle once again. I'm telling you, this battle submission by Roll in the Heat is pretty solid, and of course it can do so much pressure, apply so much pressure to a lot of opponents with a Raikou. I really like this Pokemon, as I am an electric type enthusiast. So Cresselia, once again, we have already seen that in action. Future Sight is gonna be their main way to go this time, but after that we're just gonna completely farm down. Now with Skeledirge coming in before the damage is registered from Incinerate, we managed to grab a shield out of play. Now they have 2 Incinerates worth of energy, and with this one they have 3, so Shadow Ball is definitely coming up, but at the same time we can easily survive it. So Skeledirge now is gonna charge up some more, but before they unleash the complete wrath of their charge attacks, I guess that we can easily finish them off with our serves. So here comes now the complete farm down. Our opponent realizes it, and now switching out to that Clefable. This season Clefable can learn the move Swift, but this opponent doesn't have it as it seems, because they end up going for Moonblast, and I can only imagine that the next move that they're gonna throw might be something like a Meteor Mass. This is the main way to go for any Clefable out there, and as I'm talking about Clefable, we managed to get another solid victory for us. Switching out from a Giratina into the Metal Trascan, this is something that you do not see every day, and I believe that Trevenant can still have the upper hand over here, since we resist pretty much whatever they throw. So obviously this is a very good thing for us, and as long as this individual battle is going on, it is gonna take a while to be fulfilled. I want to remind y'all that you can always become a member to my channel to support my efforts here on YouTube. Just just a little bit more, and of course you can unlock some special perks like having early access to my videos or just be featured on the end credits of each of my videos. So this is pretty cool for you, and if you want to support, if you want, I repeat, this is not a mandatory thing or anything. By subscribing you are already supporting me, but if you want to get that extra step, feel free to become a member, and that is gonna be much appreciated, and I will show you my appreciation by shoutcasting your battles, your names, your whatever here on my content. So yes, trainers, into now the commentary, back into the commentary with the return of Red Steel. They have the Zapcan ready to go, but unfortunately for them, we start loading with our Raikou. So even though they are a spammy beast, a spammy crocodile with that Hydro Cannon, we are much spammier with our Thunder Shocks and that Wild Charge for the end game, and we can also win those CMPs. So down goes the shield, down goes for Alligator, and down goes their hopes to victory. So we might get another bad lead, this time with Typhlosion the next one, but still we have the perfect backline for them. They stay in here with that Typhlosion, and obviously we're just gonna have the upper hand with the Thunder Punch. Let's see how this is gonna go. I believe they did not switch out, right? This was their lead Pokemon. I'm not sure why they stayed in. Anyways, let's see how they want to return to the battle, because Greninja now goes in, and with a Nature's Madness we can drop their defense and grab the shield out of play. So we want to reach to another one, but this time our opponent has a Skeldritz coming in. So Skeldritz now with the defense dropped, seems like they have the upper hand over our Trevenant, but I guess we can always outspeed here to the Shadow Ball, and because of that we can have the upper hand. Now with Greninja returning into the game, we have to call it. This is just a Hydro Cannon which connects for neutral damage and about 90% worth of it. That was absolutely crazy, but the Wild Charge is much crazier, and it is gonna charge up in a wildly pace to destroy down our opponent. We reason into the next one. This is a very solid one for us, because Trevenant can absolutely have the upper hand on whatever they throw. Even with the Stone Edges, we might actually be on a very good pace. Skeledritch once again joins the party. They want to block, and as soon as they're getting to the first charge attack, we also get to our Surf to almost finish them down. To my surprise, they survived, and I guess that even Roll in the Heat, who is the trainer playing these battles, was still surprised that they survived that Surf. Anyways, Leaf Blade now will be blocked because we get the chance to reach to Nature's Madness. Our opponent decides to block here, which is a great block, but at the same time they do not know what is coming up, because right now we have a Raikou almost lurking at the very end, and it is gonna join the party immediately right after. Perhaps after the debuff, one Wild Charge from this range can one-shot them down, but our opponent is having a Tapu Fini once again with the one shot with the Wild Charge and charging up to the Shadow Ball for the back-to-back nukes, one for Tapu, one for Very, and we're gonna take a very good victory. Into the next one, trainers, with that Grident up in front. This is obviously a horrible lead scenario for us that we definitely do not like seeing at all. Seed Bomb here is gonna connect, but at what cost? I'm telling you, this Pokemon is absolutely crazy for us, and they end up going for the baits. I have no clue why. One crunch and we're out of there. Anyways, so we're just gonna keep going at it with our Seed Bombs. They're already at a pretty low point, and now they decide to go for the crunch. So eventually we lose this lead scenario, but I guess that our opponent could still play it much better over here if they did not go for that Body Slam. So another Body Slam is coming off. You can see of how great of a threat that little smiling Colgate like Pokemon is looking at us, and since they're having a Tapu Koko, this is gonna be the battle of Tapus. Of course we're losing to the electric typing, but still Raikou on shiny mode, on shadow mode, is gonna come into the battle trying to destroy down our opponent's dreams. Down they go to the shadow ball, and of course now with the water type once again at the back, all we need to do is to reach to a couple of wild charges, one for the shield, one for the knockout. I really love saying this. And now with the surf being blocked, the final wild charge is finally gonna be able to get a wild charging victory for us. Into the final 1-out trainers with a very good lead over the Tapu Fini. Giratina on the switch, and we cannot switch out yet. I believe that we can always survive the Dragon Claw because that was only on the 5th Shadow Claw, I guess. They did not even try to go for the Shadow Sneak, and now by getting the shield out of play, we can easily switch out to Tapu Fini. I really like this strategy by rolling the hit, trying to get that early shield from the opponent, because they realize that by having the shield advantage, well, Raikou can only be much more useful than usual, so that's why they are doing this. So Ancient Power now in a weird effort to get the boost from our opponent. I think they did not even get it. Another Ancient Power, but this time Nature's Madness will connect, this time for lethal damage over that devilish-like Pokemon. So Trevenant now joins the party, and you know what, we can always return into their own game with our own Trevenant, because we have to make them drop that energy. However, we end up blocking the Seed Bomb, which is kinda weird. And did we just switch out to Volt Switch over Thunder Shock? Perhaps that is the case. Anyways, now we still have the damage output that we need for the Trevenant with another wild charge. Even when resisted, this Pokemon hits like a truck, and that is gonna be an amazing 5-0 to end today's content. That is gonna be all for today, trainers. Thank you for watching and for sticking around till the end. It really means a lot for my channel, and if you want to watch more, over here I have 2 more videos for you to check out. Feel free to watch them, and I will see you all into the next one.